What do you do? It's your boy. Ha, ah, ah, ha, ah. The OG Renaissance man. What do you do to that Renaissance nation? You know what I'm saying? That Renaissance world. We got a good stream here. I'm sitting here eating some ice cream, man, going crazy on this little pint. No cap. I think it's a pint. Oh, it's a quart, 1.5 quart. It's gonna be no quart. I'm smashing. Now you're probably asking, but isn't that unhealthy? To that I'm like, hell yeah. It's very unhealthy. And to that I respond, if you like me, you already did your morning workout, which was of a crazy sufficient intensity, something fit for a Navy SEAL. You did a Navy SEAL tier workout, and I did. We meditated for nearly 4 hours from 1 o'clock in the morning to 4 o'clock, exploring the inner workings of the soul, which I did. We're about to go to work to make some excess slave cash, because I am. And you're on live stream just to be on live stream, which I am, nigga. So I don't really want to hear your mouth about the choices I'm making, because I also got some ginger snaps, and I've been eating them guys too. Can't lie to you. So listen, it's simple. Work hard, be loyal to those around you who have uplifted you, stay centered spiritually and morally, and you'll get the best that you possibly could. Don't get me wrong though. Don't get me wrong though. On the road to success, on the road to elevation, I'm gonna tell you a few things that's gonna happen. Right? Stay with me. All of your friends and family are gonna become annoying, ignorant, bumbling nincompoops that don't understand the deeper aspects of life. You're gonna be getting better and better and better. That means you're gonna be experimenting. That means you're gonna be expanding your understanding of what it means to live and what life is, what a dollar means, what banks are, who people are at their core nature, how people act. When you're experimenting with that, you're going to learn a lot of things about people. You're going to learn a lot of things about human nature, right? If you just study human nature, you'll get rich. I say that because human nature has allowed me to get into rooms that otherwise I shouldn't have been in, with people that otherwise I shouldn't have been around, in a good way. Like, knowing human nature has helped me move up. You got to be able to move up in life. The only way to move up in life is to know how other humans perceive value. So knowing human nature, and once you know enough human nature, then you realize, dang, we are all predictable and the same. I'm not that special. You literally realize I'm not that special. You literally realize, oh, there's more I could do to set myself apart. So like I said, on your come up, you know what I'm saying? To the bread, come up to becoming you. Your friends and family are going to get annoying because you're going to think like peasants think. You're going to realize, wow, I used to think like a peasant because I didn't know the way things actually were. I didn't know the way that people thought. I didn't know the way that the world was in actuality, not how I made it be. You're going to realize people think like peasants, hoping, praying for their next paycheck in this cyclical nature of never ending taxes, never ending get up, go to work, then weekend, they do whatever they want. Take a break? Why the fuck are you taking a break when you can make money online? What? Hmm, nigga, what? You can make money online, way more money online than you can make working. But you'd rather work? Hmm? What do you mean? You'd rather work? That don't make no sense, bruh. Here's a few gems, like I'm saying. This video is a gem. You gotta not think like the peasants and slaves that you were raised around. Your mom's a peasant. Your brother's a peasant. Your sister's a peasant. Your uncle is a peasant. All of them think like peasants. Now, I'm sure they're lovely people. I'm sure if I asked them for a glass of water and I was thirsty and I just showed up at their doorstep, I'm sure they'd do their nice, moral, citizen, civilian duty and they'd give me a nice glass of cold, refreshing ice water in a nice, tall glass with beautiful decorations on it. I'm sure they do that. And they're still peasants because of that. Not because they're good people. It's not like, oh, good people are peasants. No. No. The case is simple. You can be a good person, but the way you think about life, the way you think about money, the way you think about relationships, the way you think about value, that can be peasant like. That's what I mean, peasant like. This is what I meant when I said your mom, your brother, your sister, your daddy, your uncle, all peasants. Because I guarantee you, they don't understand that they're not free. They are not free. They are not free. What I mean when I say y'all are not free, if you work a job, you're not free. Everyone should be an entrepreneur. Everyone should be an entrepreneur. There should be no one on the planet that is not an entrepreneur making six figures. You should be an entrepreneur making six figures online. Because if you're going into a job to work, you're a fucking idiot. You're a fucking idiot. I don't mean that, talk down. Let me explain. I don't mean it disrespectfully. I mean, you take that and ask me why. You're supposed to take that and say, why am I a fucking idiot? And I'm supposed to tell you, you're a fucking idiot because you're working and spending your time and life force and energy for another individual who gives zero fucks about you. And you're draining your pocket doing it. And you're draining your soul doing it. You're driving back and forth on these treacherous ass streets, praying and hoping you don't get in a fucking car accident because you swerved too much to the left. Or maybe you just nodded off in the middle of the fucking highway in the middle of rush hour traffic just because you were so tired from going back and forth all the way throughout this entire fucking week from one place to another for this weak ass job that's giving you pennies on the dollar. You can't see your family. You can't cook your own meals, so you're literally running off of fucking diesel fuel and McDonald's Big Mac burgers. You're not going anywhere at a soul level. You feel stuck. And you still don't question and think, why the fuck am I in this cycle? This is a soul sucking, like a glizzy gobbler cycle. I didn't mean to do that. That's not me. No homo. Like, I don't be doing that. But what I really meant was, what I was trying to say was like, nigga, that's really what's happening. Your soul is being sucked. And a lot of the niggas just acting like, well, let the good times roll. What good fucking times? Last time I checked, there were no good times when you're broke. My dad was like this. He had a broke ass mentality. He was smart with money, but he didn't teach the next generation. And only broke nigga would not teach the next generation. Only someone who's not fully developed in their mind would not teach the next generation. He was a smart ass man. He left me a lot of knowledge when it came to spiritual understanding. My dad left me a lot of knowledge when it came to spiritual understanding. He was a smart man with putting things together. But ultimately, there were parts of him that he couldn't accept. and he gave that down to his children. And my job has always been to break that cycle, because this generation, we're breaking my generation. The people like me in my generation are breaking generational curses. That's our job, to break those generational curses so we can get and make sure our family name stays afloat. Because there's either going to be two directions you go in the next 15 years. You're either going to go up or you're going to stay the same, which is going down. If you stay the same or go down, you are going to be in a world of consequences, and you will essentially be the reason why your bloodline dies off. That'll be all your fault, because you are in an entrepreneurial revolution, the information age, where YouTube is your university. All you need to do is go on YouTube, learn a high income skill, and fucking market it. For me, it's content creation. I know how to create content. That is a skill. The videos, chops, edits, the pictures, all of that, the quotes, the textions, the copywriting, all of that is a skill. That is multiple skills rolled up into one. The website, how to create a website, how to use social media ads, all of that is a skill. I knew 4 years ago, no, I'm not going to college. My fucking dumbass dad was like, well, you need to go to college. So I went for journalism. I went to fucking college for journalism. I went to Kennesaw State. Oh my fucking God, I didn't show up to any of my classes. You want to know why? Because it was fucking stupid. All I did was hang out with the boys at their apartment that they had off campus. My dad didn't pay for my tuition, so I had to take out loans on that, which is fucking a scam. You're taking out college loans. College loans are a fucking scam. But we won't get into that. That's a whole other video. Anyway, he made me take out fucking I had to take out loans for classes that I didn't attend and that I didn't want to go to. I had no motivation to attend. I had a 1.8 GPA at the end of all of it because I didn't go to any of my fucking classes and I just want to fucking chill. Because I'm 19, I know for a fact I just got my fucking heart broken. I know for a fact, which, how do you get your heart broken? That getting your heart broken as a man means you're a bitch. I'm being honest. Getting your heart broken as a man means you're a bitch. And I'll explain that probably later on in this video, in this live stream. So stay with me, Stay with me. Anyway, look, so I'm commuting back and forth. This is how stupid this nigga was. I'm gonna make him hate go to college because you gotta be doing something if you staying in my house. If you staying in my house, you gotta be doing something. I can't let you do nothing. So I'm working, by the way, trying to stack my bread like a fucking idiot. Stack bread. Nigga, you're never gonna stack more than 10K. And by the time you get done with that, it's another kid who pressed 10 buttons in one day and made 10K. But you had to go to work slaving and grudging all motherfucking day like a goddamn slave. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? You're joking. No, we know that's not the way. Anyway, we don't do that shit in the Renaissance Nation. Renaissance Nation, no job shit. We are not on that job shit. That shit is stupid. But it also doesn't mean don't do nothing. If you're not on that job shit, you need to go 10 times harder on whatever else you're doing. Now look, he made me take out a weak ass loan for college that I didn't want to attend just to keep up with the fucking Joneses so he could say, oh yeah, my son's in college for journalism. Whole time, nigga not going to none of them classes because he knows this shit is pointless. He knows you're not going to make no real bread as a fucking journalist, reporting what people tell you to report. You don't even get to have no real creative freedom with the stories that you're reporting. Say you get a big gig or internship, which turns into a permanent position at a journalist at a news station, right? Say you get a fucking internship with Vice or Guardian News, right? You still would know the fact that you can't report anything before someone looks at it and says, okay, here's the go ahead. You don't have no power. You don't have no freedom to report things that actually matter. You can't give the world value unless you give them something from your heart. something from your heart is something you created that gives the value that you uniquely are specifically suited to give. This is why you have to have a business. If you don't have a business, you're dropping cash on the floor. You're wasting your soul and life force energy. Yeah, it's going to be hard to start the shit up from the beginning. Yeah, but you know what's going to be even harder? When the eventual catastrophe happens. Let me take a little bite of this real quick. When the eventual catastrophe happens, one day they say it's COVID. The next day they say, you know, it's an earthquake or some natural disaster. The next day after that, they're already reporting on Taylor Swift's new Era tour. You think about how fucking broken the news is. You just told me 100 people died from a landslide in Indonesia. Then the same exact news outlet, not even a day later, literally 5 fucking hours later, is posting on the same account. Taylor Swift just hit a record sales on her Era tour. The fuck cares about a Taylor Swift Era tour except for those fucking toxic Swifties who they're the only problem in the relationship. Taylor Swift has been writing breakup songs for years. How many breakup songs can you possibly write? Now, don't get me wrong, I love a Taylor Swift song. New Romantics, fucking classic. Shake It Off, untouched in terms of pop, especially in the modern day. I'm talking about even all the way back, you know what I'm saying? Um Today was a fairy tale, all that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Taylor Swift been popping since really '08. Really '08. Really a little bit earlier too. She's that bitch for sure. But why the fuck would I care more about Taylor Swift than I care about some Indonesian refugee who just fucking fell down a fucking mountain on a landslide? Like, I would rather hear about a story that actually matters like that, not fucking Taylor Swift's sales. That shit's not getting me no money in my pocket. That shit's not making me a better person. That shit's not doing nothing for me. So this is what I mean when I say you're gonna be a journalist, idiot me, and you being a journalist, that's gonna get you some of fame and esteem. Is gonna make you known, nigga. You're gonna stay in behind the shadows. They're gonna give you things that the editorials already given and have decided that this shit works. Okay, this is the story we're gonna use to fit on Monday and Wednesday and Thursday. You don't get no creative freedom to go explore a story, detective, journalism, nigga. This is not 1922. All of this shit is yellow journalism. And go look what that shit is. What is yellow journalism? Let's look it up right now. Yellow journalism and yellow press are American terms for journalism and associated newspapers that present little or no legitimate, well-researched news, while instead using eye-catching headlines for increased sales. Techniques may include exaggerations of news events, scandal mongering, or sensationalism. By extension, the term yellow journalism came to mean stories that were emotional or engaging, or exaggerated, rather. When did yellow journalism end? It never fucking ended. Only a fucking idiot would ask that question. When did yellow journalism end? If I can go right now on Vice News and see the bullshit that they post, not talking about none of the homeless people that are roaming the streets of Atlanta, not talking just freely, talking about living under bridges. I was there the other day. I had to go for a checkup for my nephew. We're under the fucking bridge in Atlanta, one of these rundown bridges in Atlanta with potholes just all over the fucking ground. If I run over, it's a landmine in this bitch. If I run over one of these bitches, I cannot tell you that I will make it home because my tire will be sunk 14 feet underneath the ground in a goddamn sinkhole in the middle of the city. That is what the reality is around me in Atlanta. And I just go outside and smell the stench of Atlanta. Don't get me wrong, I love Atlanta, I love the city. But come on. The rotten, infested women here and men, the lack of moral character, the lack of people caring for each other. What the fuck happened to communities? No, we're not reporting any of this on Vice News. We're not going to report about any of this on the fucking British Broadcasting Channel. We're not going to talk about any on this on Guardian News rather. We're going to talk about what fucking Travis Kelce said Four words he said after he won the fucking Super Bowl that was fucking rigged. If you believe the Super Bowl is rigged, let me know. Super Bowl was probably fucking rigged. I don't trust any of these games anymore. I don't trust any sport anymore because the government, the world at large, has given me no reason to trust it. Everywhere you turn, there's fucking treachery. Not just in the people, but in the very fabric of what we make in the society, of who we are in the society. People make things, the cost of labor is so goddamn cheap. I wouldn't put no effort into my job either. We make these people make these phones and they used to make things with love. You go to McDonald's back in 1970, you get you a good meal, nice sizes and everything. This shit tastes good. I remember I used to go eat Wendy's Frosties. Bitches used to hit. Now a chocolate Wendy's Frosty tastes like fucking processed milk. Tastes like them cartons of milk just frozen from when you was in fucking preschool or middle school or in grade school. Free milk. That shit I'm paying for tastes like free lunch because the cost of labor is so fucking insane, and companies are so goddamn cheap that they're not paying people what they're worth. And inflation just gets worse and worse. And inflation only applies to poor people. Inflation is a poor people problem. A nigga who owned a bank don't got a problem with inflation. Can't have a problem with inflation. Bro, and when inflation happens, niggas get richer. You literally just said, oh, I'm printing more money, meaning that the more money I have, the more money I can spend. But the niggas who don't have a lot of money, now the more money that they have to spend it all. Niggas that don't have a lot of money only have $100 versus a nigga who has $500,000 ready to spend on anything. $500,000 to inflation? What? $100 to inflation? What? You're not getting your investment back. Just going to work is not worth it anymore. You cannot outwork inflation. You can't outmuscle the inflation. Great. And the only way to do that is to earn more. You have to earn more dollars. You have to earn more dollars. And broke people are so lazy. They're so sad. They're so sickening and honestly peasant like. They grovel around the earth, complaining with the victim mentality. And this is what we talk about in the Renaissance Nation. This is really what we talk about. We talk about healing that fucking broken mindset that makes people broke. Because I'm a firm believer that you're not broke when it comes to money. You're not broke. You just have a broken mindset. So you don't have the hustle necessary to get yourself out of the broke. Broke is a way of seeing the world. You're broke because you see the world a certain way and it's not in alignment with the reality of the way the world has functioned before you were born, before your parents were born, and before their parents were born. That's what made them broke. That's why they couldn't go above a certain net worth. That's what made your parents broke. That's why you're where you are. So to get yourself where you need to be, you have to stop thinking like everyone else around you. Which brings me back to my first point, which is saying that the more you grow, the more you're gonna stop identifying with these niggas around you and see these niggas are broke. They think broke, they talk broke, they waste time like a broke individual, they think like peasants and they act like victims. I've always hated that shit when I was a kid. Oh, victim mindset. Oh, victim. You're a victim. There are multiple times I had literal issues with my spine. I had to heal that shit and put it back like a goat because I just had to experiment and I had to say, okay, no doctor is gonna give me anything to fucking heal this. The spine. No doctor's gonna heal my gut. What they're gonna do is say, they're gonna put a stethoscope to my goddamn chest and say, mm, breathe in for me. Hold that. Breathe out. So I'm wasting time fumbling around in this goddamn fucking cesspool of disease and dirt full of other broke individuals with peasant victim mentalities. Probably my doctor who wants to tell me how I should go run more is fat and overweight himself, nowhere near the slim Greek god physique that I have, yet he wants to tell me what I should do. And he went to school for 14, 15, 16 years to be fat, overweight, about to die by the time he gets his degree, but that's another story. You wasted all your time, don't got no hoes, don't got no phone calls that you can make to people who care about you. You have no social life. All you are is just a working workaholic selling your soul. And don't get me wrong, we need doctors. So I applaud anybody who took that route and really did it for the right reasons. But a lot of people don't do these things for the right reasons, and they realize that too late. I'm talking to those people, and I'm not being trying to be offensive to you. I'm trying to be honest and open yourself up to another direction so that you can change and alter the course of your life before it's too late. You have to understand time is the greatest liability. A lot of people call it an asset. I call it a liability. And I find that that makes me more willing to act when I need to act because it's a liability. The reason why it's a liability is because I never know how much of it I'm gonna need for any one given project to finish the project completely. I never know how much of it I'll have in a day. I never know if this will be my last amount of time in this moment. I never know how much time I'll need for a given thing, or how much time I'll have, or how much time will be capable of being even utilized. What amount of time my time will I have to give to other people and other things in a day? So time is a liability because you can never have enough of it. It's always an indefinite amount, even though you can plan, write up a schedule, write up a bunch of pages, pages on pages of pages of just schedules and timings and what you should do and shouldn't do. That shit is not gonna work long term because life happens. I had to go do a little fingerprinting thing, which I don't like. I don't like how they have my fingerprints now. I don't fucking like that. I don't like people having extra information on me. I don't like the government having extra information on me. But it is what it is. You're working in their society, so you got to do what you got to do. Anyway, I had to go do fingerprints for some stupid shit my family done did. One of my family members in her broke state, thinking about broke things, peasantry, stupid victim mentality. See, this is what I'm talking about. A victim mentality keeps you victim. That's why I oppose that shit. Not because it's a bad thing. How goofy. People still think in this concept of good and bad, right and wrong, true and false. All the shit is true and all the shit is false. It depends on the perspective you're seeing it from. There is no sole thing I can say is right or sole thing I can say is wrong. I can only say it's right or wrong based on the perspective. And when I'm talking about my perspective, there's a few things that are wrong. It's wrong to push and and consume yourself with things that are not going to put you forward. That's wrong. It's also wrong to do a lot of things that you've been conditioned or right to do by society. This is the same society that pushes a gay narrative on little children that have no fucking clue what gay is. It's the same society that puts you in a nuclear household, which is not an optimal society for or an optimal structure for a family anyway. It's not an optimal structure for a family to grow in. It's not the original spiritual structure, a nuclear family. What? And so you can go get married too and be tethered to the environment. You when you get married, and I'm fervently against marriage. My mom hates this. My mom hates this. I know she hates this, and I know a lot of people will hate this perspective too. But once you really understand what marriage fucking is and the laws of marriage, not the spiritual marriage, you don't have to have no fucking ring to get spirit. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to flick you. You don't have to have a ring to be in union with the partner. You don't need a ceremony. All you need is you two making that covenant and that pact and staying on that. So then why the fuck would I spend $50,000 like a goddamn peasant because we only live once? Yeah, you only live once and you just spent half of your entire savings on that. Good job. So now you only live once, but you had a good memory for a fucking wedding. But even though we're struggling for the rest of our life, eating out of cans because we're still paying back that wedding debt for a stupid ass gown that she can't even fit anymore, that she refuses to sell because of nostalgia. Broke woman, broke man. You're a broken man, so you're going to lead your woman down into destruction. Only if you wanted to be broke would you get involved in the legal system, period. Because the legal system's always going to do a couple things. They're going to fucking tax you, and on top of them taxing you, they're going to gain control of your assets or your money. That's the only thing that the government can do. That's literally the only thing the government can do when you sign and lay in bed with them. And this is not a ploy against the government. Listen, I don't care. I stand in the middle. I stand in the middle because I see the situation and I know that they're going to hate me for what I be saying. I know that. I'm very aware that people are not going to agree with my perspective. My own family won't. But a lot of them are broken mentality. Since a young age, I realized when I'm out here, like I was telling you the story about them homeless. I'm out here in Atlanta with the homeless. I'm not with the homeless, but I'm driving in the car and I'm looking at the homeless under the bridge. And I get under the bridge and I smell this terrible stench of old, disgusting rat feces and rotten cheese. I had to roll the window up because I thought I was gonna get fucking arsenic poisoning just driving past that tent. And I was like, oh my God, this is what a city looks like? And everybody just going around their day, and there are people in the city living life like this. The way that you even get that, and there's another thing I notice when I talk to homeless people, and I try to stay as far away from people like this as possible. Homeless people oftentimes think a certain way, and that's what makes them homeless. Listen, you can't get out of this shit that I'm telling you. Your mindset has to be a certain way. That's why I wrote the book Achiever's Mindset. Your mindset has to be a certain way to be successful. You have to see the tools around you and the tools within you in a certain light in order to utilize them to their max potential or even to a high enough potential that gets you fucking money. If you want some money, you need to think about money a certain way. If you want fame, success, power, legendary status, you have to think about this shit a certain way. See, a lot of niggas they won't admit that that's what they want though. They'll hide their little desires for, a better life behind their own incapability to just go out there and get some shit. That's what we talk about in Renaissance Nation. That's what we talk about over here in the Renaissance world, cartervuitton.com. That's what we talk about. We talk about getting money, getting better, changing our mindset to be better. Because you don't have all day. You don't not only do you not have all day, you don't have all year. In the next 10 to 15 years, the life you knew is going to be vast, far, 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 far behind you. Far behind you. Far behind you. And 98% of people are sheep. You have to understand this. People are sheep. You can't just listen to them just because it's fashionable to listen to what everybody else is doing and do what everybody else is doing. Everybody else is broke. They have no money. They don't know where they're going in life. They don't know what they're doing. They have no direction. They just do things. And then when they get the result, then they want to act like victims and shit. 99% of people, no offense to them, because it's really just how they see the world. They've trained themselves to see the world this way. 99% of people are peons when it comes to growing and becoming better and maximizing their potential. Why do you think that people come to me as what you could consider a guide or some mentor or a some guru of sorts? People have called me all types of names. I don't believe in the names. I believe in the truth. And the truth of the matter is, unless you think in a certain direction, you're not going to go in any direction. And it's urgent that you think in a direction because your bloodline depends on it. Boom, that's it. That's it. Like that's the essence of what I say.